This is what Trinitarians do all the time, do they not? They like to come here, Hebrews 1. They always say this, right? It's very obvious. It says he became better than the angels because he got a better name, right? He didn't come in his own name. He says that in John 5. And there's no use of name that just means authority apart from the name of the actual person whose authority you have because of the name. So if he didn't come in his own name, then he is the Messiah came in the name of his God, Ja'ol, Micah 5. And then he got a new name better than the angels. See, this is after the resurrection, Trinitarians. Yeah, while he was on earth and before that, didn't have a better name than the angels. It says so right here. Did you read that? I know you have, because you guys read this text all the time. You just ignore verse 4 all the time or try to get distracted onto better, like the early pagan fathers did. Many of the pagans, right? They weren't all pagan, but many of the Trinitarians, right? They go crazy over better when they don't understand. He didn't have the name, okay, that makes him better. He didn't have the name he gets in Philippians 2. I don't know what to tell you, Trinitarians. God's always had his name, okay? That's never changed. You just have to lie about it changing for you, okay, or your doctrine, right? But then they quote verse 5, right? To which of the angels did he ever say this, right? And as we know, this is talking about him since his resurrection, like we just showed. But because Trinitarians are perverts, many of them, the apologetic nuts, they try to lie to you and claim this is preventing Jesus from being an angel, right? Because in verse 5, to which of the angels did he say this? What he says to Jesus in fulfillment of the prophecy, right, from the Psalms about his resurrection. You are my son, I today have become your father. And so he's differentiating between the angels and Jesus when? Since his resurrection, right? Since he became better after getting the new name. Trinitarians don't understand that. They think this always is or was the case, right? Because they always what, everybody? They believe Jesus was always God, I should say, right? That never changes for them. This whole giving of the name blows their mind. Like I explained to Dr. White during our debate, separate clip out there also. They don't understand. They need Jesus' human nature to not be Yahweh, so he doesn't know all things and all this other stuff, right? And they try to throw into the human nature consciousness and create two people, but claim it's only one person. Lie. What they end up doing, though, right, is failing to understand that he's being given the name he didn't have before that makes him better than the angels. Yeah. Right. And he didn't come in his own name. He came in the name of the Father. What name is that? Well, the name he got right here. Right? This makes him better than the angels because he's on the Father's throne, Trinitarians. Understand how that works? It's temporal. Like we're going to read right now with the angels. Although here it's different, right? This is him after the resurrection. This isn't him before becoming a man like with the angel of the Lord. And that's why it says, to which of the angels did he ever say? To none of them, right? Because he said this to a man, or the one who died as a man, and then when he resurrected him, firstborn from the dead as a spirit. Colossians 1, 15 through 18, 1 Corinthians 15, 45. See, we don't have to lie. We don't have to read into the text. We're not putting our faith in what's next. We look at the text, and right here, right? Very clear. Now, Trinitarians lie because they don't understand what I just said. Remember that. But they try to use this and say, how could he be an angel? What are you talking about? Trinity. No. Well, first of all, again, he's talking about resurrecting him from the dead. Not an angel who materialized as a man. No. Not even the angel of the Lord, whom you believe Jesus is, contradicting what you're using this text for to claim he's not an angel or never was. See, we don't have that problem because we believe that he was a man, died, then this happened, which is exactly what the context says. Yeah, right. It just is so clear, Trinitarians. But the reason I brought you all here, right, this is very important. It leads right to Zechariah. Got to see this. You got to know this. If you want to know this, right here. With reference to the angels, he says, and he makes his angels spirits, and his public servants a flame of fire. right? So the angel of Ja'ol, by definition, that means he's Ja'ol's angel. He could literally translate it that way. Ja'ol's angel. It's his angel. It's not him. He's the angel speaking for him, like you Trinitarians don't understand about the angels in Revelation. All throughout the Bible, actually. Genesis to Revelation and Zechariah. But right here, look, right? His angels are spirits, public servants. Right? Right here, verse 14. Are they not all spirits for public service, sent forth to minister for those who are going to inherit salvation? Well, what is the angel of the Lord doing all throughout the Old Testament? Right? It is officially appointed in a special way in Exodus 23, where God says, look, I'm putting my name in this angel, and he's going to lead you, and you have to listen to his voice. I'm going to speak. You have to listen to his voice. Just like Jesus in the New Testament, right? He's speaking, but it's the Father's words. They're all doing the same thing. That's what they are. They're angels. Right? So we understand exactly how they understood angels. We understand the context of Hebrews 1, 2, all of it, right? But for Trinitarians to lie and confuse people about their doctrine, remember, they've got to use words that are like what the Bible says, but mean something totally different, like angel here, or in the Old Testament, or this one angel. Or sometimes they think, like with that 3 men who appeared in Genesis 18, 2 of whom are identified as angels right off the bat in Genesis 19. They like that, right? 3 men, which by parallel would not be Trinity, right? Be 3 gods, if anything, but that's not what it says. Explicitly says 2 of them are angels. So why would you think the other one isn't an angel, if not the angel of the Lord, when that's how God's been speaking to people the whole time? That's how he speaks to people, even if it says it's God talking. We'll see that tonight. But look again, right? So there's no reason the angel of the Lord wouldn't fit this definition. It's a spirit. It's sent forth to minister those who are going to inherit salvation, or for public service. Right? Right here. And so why wouldn't that apply to the angel of the Lord in the Old Testament? And so that would have to mean the Son is differentiated from that angel here. We believe that is the case because it's talking about the Son as a man who died, right? Even if he is that angel of the Lord, which I believe he was or is, still not talking about that angel, right? It's not talking about any angel right here. But when Trinitarians hear that, they think, well, then, okay, he's never been an angel. No, he was an angel, the angel of the Lord, archangel in my view, became lower than the angels, Psalm 2, Hebrews 2, Psalm 8, Hebrews 2, and then became better than the angels after he died and was resurrected and given a new name. Doesn't say anything about him being better in any other way. They're all spirits. That's their nature, right? All separate spirits. None of this sharing of a nature with multiple persons. That's nowhere taught in the Bible. Later stuff, right? And then we get all this ridiculousness when it comes to things like the angel of the Lord. But again, there's no reason the angel of the Lord wouldn't fit this description. So what are Trinitarians doing? Do they believe he's an angel or not? Well, they do, right? That's a fact. So anytime a Trinitarian uses Hebrews 1 to claim he's not an angel, you got to say, look, we don't think he's an angel when he's being told these things here, but you do believe he's an angel, the angel of the Lord in the Old Testament. So what are you saying? That he's not the angel of the Lord when he's on earth? That changed for you? Well, if he was Yahweh as the angel of the Lord, why would that be any different? He's clearly a messenger while on earth, too. I don't know how much more clear he could tell you. I'm only here to tell you what, the Father said. So what are they talking about, right? It's really weird, everybody. Even in his resurrection state, he's given a revelation by God. If he's the angel of Yahweh in the Old Testament, which in your view means he's Yahweh, and he never stopped being Yahweh, well, then he's the angel of Yahweh all the time, right? He's delivering messages the whole time in the Old Testament, in the New Testament, and in his resurrected state. So, I mean, the way Trinitarians have positioned themselves for total destruction, everyone, all you have to do is remember they can't interpret the Bible. They're just trying to read their doctrine into it. And once you see that, you can recognize, hey, you're contradicting yourself. You're using terms in different ways here. You're saying this angel is somehow an exception to all this, but no, everything it says clearly applies to the angel in the Old Testament. The angel of the Lord too. Yeah, he was a public servant, sent forth to minister and serve. In Zechariah, in our reading last week of chapters 1 and 2, it was clear. The angel of the Lord prayed to Yahweh and got words. He kept asking, when are you going to do this? When are you going to do that? And Yahweh sent back good words that the angel didn't know. Proving the angel of Yahweh, the angel of Yahweh, the angel of the Lord is not Yahweh, not omniscient, not co-eternal, not co-equal with the Father. No, he's an angel, Trinitarians. Can you read Hebrews chapter 1? You understand what an angel is, Trinitarians? Okay, so any angel, period, right? This doesn't apply to the Son as a man. He's not an angel as a man. He became lower than. I don't know how many times we have to quote it to you. It's literally the next chapter of what I am highlighting for you right here. We've read it many times. You just ignore it and lie. So we will ignore you and tell the truth. He became lower than the angels, wasn't an angel when these things were said to him. Therefore, we're consistent. You're lying. Anything else? Can we help you with something else?